Right, so today I'm going to make some elderflower champagne. It's not strictly champagne, it's basically sparkling elderflower cordial, really. But they call it elderflower champagne. It is very, very, very minutely alcoholic, but you wouldn't even really notice that it was. It's ever so simple to make, so there's very few ingredients. You need elderflower heads, which is the perfect time of the year now to be collecting them. You want fresh ones, you want reasonable size ones, and I always like to collect them when it hasn't been raining for a while, because the pollen in the heads is what helps or starts the fermentation. So I want to try and keep as much pollen in there as possible. So we've got your heads, white wine vinegar, only a few tablespoons full, lemons, sugar and water. That's it. Dead easy. So let's get on with it. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use to make it in. It's just a cheap sort of plastic bucket from like your pound shop. Already in there, I collected this morning my elderflowers. Now I've put them in there because I don't want to lose any of the pollen, but the smell is unbelievable. It's incredible, really pungent. So anyway, I've got at least 8 of those in there. I might have a couple more because they were quite small, some of them. So I've already put them in there, so I'll keep them covered up. I don't want to get any muck in there. Then we've just got your white wine vinegar, nothing special, just your bog standard, 3 lemons and 2 pounds of sugar. So let's get started. All I've got to do is put everything together and mix it up. Right, I'm going to first off just take the flower heads out of here, just carefully lift them out. I don't want to get any or lose any of my pollen, so I'm just going to gently lay them there, because everything else is going to go in here first. So let's get a decent knife out. Just halve up your lemons. All those are going to go in. The sugar, put the whole lot in. So that's all tipped in there. You see that very well. We've gone in there. And now we want 2 gallons of water. So this is going to make 2 gallons worth. Let's see if I can find something to put a couple of gallons of water in. Okay, so I found myself a jug. It's the biggest thing we've got apart from going out in the garden and getting a garden bucket. We want 7.5 of these. There's quite a lot going to go in there. And when I first did this, I was really careful about sterilising my bucket, and I used some of that Milton baby bottle sterilising stuff. Washed it all out, was really thorough, and it didn't work. The stuff just didn't ferment. Of course, it turned out that the sterilising fluid, I hadn't got rid of it all, and it just killed the yeast. So there you go. Right, let's find something to give it a bit of a stir with. We've got to try and dissolve as much of this sugar before we put everything else in. Make it into a nice sort of syrup. doesn't actually take all that long. In fact, I think that's almost gone already. Even in cold water, I dare say if you put slightly warm water in it would have gone quicker, but right, let's see if we can let you have a look at that. Get this camera out of here without jumping around too much. See, that's gone nice and clear, or clearish. So that's got rid of the majority of the sugar. So in with the lemons, the lemon juice. Squeeze them out as much as you can. And then just dump the lemons in. Doesn't matter. As much out as you can. Oh bugger. That one's... God, these are tough old lemons. Take some squeezing. I tell you. Right, leave them in, then just wipe my hands. White wine vinegar, we want a tablespoon. We've got 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Ooh, that's good. Right, and then put your heads in. Again, I'm going to be a bit careful. I just don't want to lose too much of my pollen. Now, when I originally did this again, the instructions I used did say to wash the heads before you use them. Well, to me that defeated the object. It got rid of all the pollen, which is, as I say, what starts off the fermentation. I think they do it to get rid of any insects, like, where is it? Come out, there's one there. Is that an insect or is that just a bit of... Yeah, there's a little bug there. It's a ladybird larvae. I'll put that out somewhere out the window. That survived. But I wouldn't worry too much about the bugs. It's only a bit of protein at the end of the day. But seriously, it won't matter. The whole lot is going to get strained before you get anywhere near drinking it. So it'll all be, all the bits will be strained out. So I'm just giving this a nice little stir. Get it all going. And that is basically it. I should put the lid on and stick that somewhere cool. I'll probably put it under the stairs for at least 2 days, giving it a stir probably maybe twice a day. Just give it a little mix round and you'll notice that it might start to be bubbling. That's the fermentation starting. Then after the 2 days we'll decant it through a muslin into plastic bottles. You want to use plastic rather than glass because with this fermenting and getting fizzy there is a chance that the glass will shatter or at least blow the tops off. Empty water bottles, plastic pop bottles, things like that, they can stand something like 200 psi before they'll blow up, so I always use them, and then you don't have to worry. So we'll stick that under the stairs and we'll come back in a couple of days. Right, so it's been about 2.5 days, nearly 3 days since I put the elderflower champagne together. So let's take a look at it. I've got it out from under the stairs. We'll take a look and see what it looks like. Doesn't actually look much different apart from the fact the flowers have gone a bit brown. There's no sign of any fermentation yet, but then I guess probably wouldn't yet. So what I'm going to do now is decant it into some plastic bottles, which I've lined up over there. I've got a few ready. I need to get a couple more, but they've just been washed. So let's set up and get decanting. Right, so I've got 2 jugs, small one and big one, only because that's what I've got. Some muslin, which I'm going to put over the big jug. Just strain it through. My bottles. So, let's get started. It really smells nice. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the smell of elderflowers. Some people say it smells like cat's pee, but I rather like it. It's quite fragrant. And then I'm just going to pour it into my bottles. I'm going to leave a little bit of room at the top, about an inch or so there, just so it's got some expansion room. So that's all I'm going to do. So let's crack on. Get them finished. So once I've got this lot done, again I'm going to put them in somewhere cool for about a week, and we'll come back in a week and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have some nice fizz. So I'll catch you later in about a week. Okay, so it's about a week since I had this elderflower champagne concoction poured into its bottles. It's been in my utility room, which is quite cool, for just over a week, and this one I've had in the fridge for a couple of hours just to give it a bit of a chill. And I don't know if you can see at the bottom there, can't really see it very well, there's just a little bit of sediment. Now I don't know why that happens. I don't know if it's because of the way I filter it, whether it needs a finer mesh, or whether it's part of the fermentation process, but it always seems to be there. So just have to be careful when you pour it. It doesn't taste of anything or do you any harm, so it doesn't matter if you do drink it. It's just it looks a bit nicer in the glass if it's not there. You can tell that it's fermented because when I first filled these up they were soft, and that is really hard, so there's obviously something gone on in there. So what do you reckon? Let's give it a go. Let's bring it up to the camera and I'll see if you could hear this. I don't know whether you did or not, but there was definitely a fizz, and I don't know if you can see, there's actually bubbles coming up. So, all on the top there. Yeah, quite a lot of bubbles coming up now. You can see? I don't know. Anyway, let's pour it out and give it a go. See if we can Pour it gently so we don't get too much sediment. That'll do to try it. It does have a cloudy appearance, but it always does. It smells lovely. It smells just like the elderflowers. That's nice. It's quite sweet, sweeter than I remember from last year. Whether that's something to do with the way it's fermented, maybe it's not fermented for long enough. As I say, I've only left it a week, so I'm going to leave the rest of it for quite a bit longer, because obviously I'm not going to drink it all in one go. But it's really nice. It's even after a week, that's really fizzy. It's really refreshing, which is quite nice on today because we've got like 24 degrees out there today, which is quite nice for us. So there you go. I hope this video goes out in time for you to have a go at this, because things have got sort of on a bit and the flowers are sort of tending to die off and turn into the berries. So I hope some of you can have a go. If not, have a go next year, because I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So thanks for watching, and cheers.